Arigato gozaimashita, America-sama, but I think we can forge ahead without you. The unthinkable is happening. Japan, America's most loyal Pacific ally these last 80 years, is quietly breaking free. After surrendering in terror following the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombings by the US on Japan, only time in history that any state of mankind has bombed another state of mankind with nukes. Japan then spent a generation, under several generations, you could argue, under America's protective wing within America's sphere of influence, as I say, forbidden from rearming, dependent on US security guarantees for its own country's survival. But 2025 has shattered that relationship in ways most people didn't see coming. Just a few months ago, Japan made an unprecedented move. They cancelled high level security talks with Washington after Trump demanded several things of Japan, primarily increased defense spending to 3.5%, and some American officials asked for to 3.5%, and some American officials asked for increase to 5% defense spending. Now think about that. Japan literally walked away from the negotiating table with its supposed closest ally. No fanfare, no screaming or shouting. That's not the Japanese culture. It might be potentially the American culture, but not here, right? It's not in their culture. Their culture is literally to sort of bow out, arigato, arigato, and just leave quietly, right? The cracks run deeper than anyone could have imagined. A shocking 77% of Japanese people in a recent poll conducted doubt America could actually defend them in a crisis. They think, yeah, they're probably not coming to our rescue. I wonder why. Did they potentially look at another proxy, American friend and ally in Eastern Europe, rhymes with Ukraine, and got dropped like it's a hot potato when Trump realized it's no longer in America's best interest to keep funneling arms into a conflict there? Who knows? Maybe. Well, as I've been saying, the eyes of the world have been watching the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and America's allies, especially the far-flung ones that can be used as proxies against other regional adversaries to America, they've been thinking, yo, I'm not becoming another Ukraine. Best believe, I'm not becoming Ukraine, right? That's not just skepticism, that's a complete collapse of trust built over decades between Japan and America. Japan distancing itself. It's not just skepticism. That poll is not just skepticism. It shows that genuine action might be taken. Meanwhile, America slapped a brutal 25% tariff on Japanese cars. So while they're uncertain, America's pouring more pressure onto it, pouring more fuel into the fire, essentially. 25% tariffs on Japanese cars. Why? Because Trump wants American domestic car manufacturers to do better and to help them compete with actually better Japanese cars. He's tariffing the Japanese cars, right? That's abandoning diplomatic solutions for economic warfare, and Japan will feel that punch. Trade talks have completely stalled, with both sides cancelling key meetings, and here's now what's really happening. Japan is remembering its geography and culture. It's on the cusp of potentially a cultural glow up, right? Despite 8 decades of American influence, Japan shares, you must remember, deep historical and cultural ties to South Korea and North Korea and China and the region itself. The East Asia region, the Pacific region, is where Japan geographically is, and their people are in that region, right? They're not in America. Now, their ties, for example, to China go back over 1,000 years. America didn't even exist for half that time as a nation state itself. It didn't exist for 500 years, let alone 1,000. So as America becomes increasingly unreliable as a defense partner or an overseer, right, who gives its defense umbrella to you, demanding more while offering less, basically going from magnanimous and protective overlord to transactional ally at best, Japan is quietly diversifying. They're strengthening ties with the EU, with ASEAN, the Southeast Asian nations, Indonesia, Malaysia, that sort of archipelago island chain, and Thailand and Myanmar and the like. And most importantly, China, which we'll talk about in another video. Japan-China ties sort of changing now, strengthening now. And most importantly, They're rearming for the first time since the Second World War. The irony is perfect, of course. America spent decades preventing Japanese militarization because America fought Japan in the Second World War kinetically, hand to hand. But now their demands for higher defense spending by Japan are forcing Japan actually to spend more on defense, but not in the way America wants. They're building their military very much independent of what the US wants or needs. And that could ultimately align them with their natural regional partners, not the unnatural or going against the grain of the regional norms and allying with some state wide across the Pacific from the other side of the world. The Asian century isn't coming. America had its century, the Asian century isn't coming. It's already here. And the trajectory of this state in particular indicates that, at least for the mid to long term, analytically speaking, Japan has chosen a side for the Asian century. Time will tell how things turn out, and I'll be here to report to you the news and the analysis, unbiased, of course, and without the Western spin. I'm Mahfouz, and I'll see you on the next one.